A very warm welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are doing good. Today is 12th of June 2020. Day is Friday. I'm sure you all are doing good this morning. Today we faced some internet issues, so because of this rainfall, and then we have maintenance work going on in various different parts of our cities and country. So I'm sorry about that. I have to reschedule this video. Basically, it is half an hour, 45 minutes late. So anyway, on our table we have two articles on COVID-19, and these two articles are on LSC, line of actual control, and these two articles are about COVID-19 or coronavirus. Then we have some very interesting news items to discuss today, but before that I would like to introduce all of you to our smart course. Now, StudyIQ team, some of the best faculties in our country, together they have designed a smart course. This smart course is for your Civil Services Examination. It covers both your pre as well as mains examination, and to find out more about it, all you have to do is download our mobile application. Dear friends, to download the PDF of today's discussion, check out my Telegram channel. You can follow me on Facebook. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students on regular basis. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion, and please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So the first topic that we have, the title is A Case for Quiet Diplomacy. It is better to engage with China quietly rather than being aggressive in our words in public, right? So rather than rhetoric and speaking aggressively in front of media and creating that aggressive environment, it is better that we engage with China in a quiet diplomacy. The reason I'm saying this thing, as we'll go through this article, I'm giving you the main summary, or I'm giving you the main big picture of this article, that quiet diplomacy has worked in the past as well, and it will work in the future too. Now, before we talk about this thing, let's quickly scan this area, right? A few days ago as well, we have gone through this area. So on your screen, you can see this is line of actual control, and here we have the Sikkim. So this one is Ladakh, and this one is Sikkim. Here in Sikkim, we have this Nakula place where this standoff is going on. And as far as Ladakh is concerned, we have many points, but I want you guys to pay attention to Galwan Valley. This is very important, and Pangong Lake, right? These two points are very important. The reason I'm saying they are very important is because other places things are all right at present, right? Things are getting normal, but these are 3 points, and the next article is particularly talking about only the Ladakh portion. It's not talking about Sikkim portion. The next article that we will discuss in like few minutes. So for that as well, I have to clarify this thing, that next article is also talking more about this points here, right? Okay. So dear friends, on 9th June, sources in Indian Army said Indian and Chinese troops began a partial disengagement from some of the stand points. Pay attention here. Army is saying about some of the stand points along the LAC in eastern Ladakh, which has seen tensions since early May. Some of the standoff points. That means for the first time officially this thing has been confirmed that there were ongoing multiple standoffs along LAC, that is line of actual control, right? We saw multiple hot spraying, and there are other places as well where we saw this standoff was going on, and the other part was this Sikkim Wala portion, right? The picture that emerged on 9th June indicated we are at the beginning of the process to resolve the situation and not at the end. 9th June's declaration, or this information that we got from Indian Army, this indicates that this is just the starting of the process, right? This is just the starting of discussion, or not exactly discussion, but I would say before 9th June, starting from May till this whole month of May 2020, roughly speaking, it was more aggressive behavior, right? We saw few soldiers of our soldiers, they got injured, few Chinese soldiers got injured. So this thing was going on. So things were a bit more aggressive, but now things are moving in right direction. Right now we are heading towards discussion, and discussions are already going on, and it looks like we will resolve this thing in hopefully forthcoming or near future. Both sides have agreed on a broad plan to diffuse 4 of the 5 points of discord. The 5th point is basically this one, Pangong Valley. As I told you, Pangong Valley, Galwan Valley and North Sikkim, these are the 3 points that you need to keep in mind, particularly these 2 points, right? Now, the reason why this article is talking about quiet diplomacy is because it has worked in the past as well. Past governments, NDA government, the current government in 1.0, Modi 1.0 phase, you can see on your screen, right? This picture, I'm not sure how many of you are aware about this thing, because this was somewhere back in I think 2014 or 2015 maybe. I think 2014. But anyway, when Xi Jinping, he was here in India, the most important thing is that it's not the year. The most important thing is that when Xi Jinping arrived in India, on the other side, on one side we saw this Mr. Modi and Xi Jinping hanging around, and they were having discussions, and this whole riverfront of Ahmedabad, and it was big celebration. So this thing was going on, and on the other side, on LSE, things were a bit rough. But then as well, both leaders, they were very quiet on this thing. They did not behave aggressively on this thing, right? They were very calm, and you can see the posture as well. So this again is just an example that quiet diplomacy has worked in the past, right? Then when UPA government was there in 2013 also, something similar took place along LSC. And at that point of time, National Security Advisor was Shiv Shankar Menon. And Shiv Shankar Menon wrote in Choices, India, the Making of India's Foreign Policy. He writes that public rhetoric, calm and steady, displaying strength and giving the adversary a way out. This was the main solution. So then UPA government, Manmohan Singh government, what they did when this thing happened was they kept quiet, right? As far as this public rhetoric is concerned, they kept it very calm and steady. So people were not tweeting or behaving aggressively, right? It was not that much. It was tried to control. Displaying strength, India displayed strength at both political level as well as military level. And then we kept this door open for China, that if China wants to exit this area, then it can. We are not going to create troubles for them and things like that. So this thing worked in the past. The same formula, quiet diplomacy, has worked in 2017 as well. Though 2017 was a big, very famous thing, and it was, as per media reports, it was like we were on the brink of a war. But to be honest, I'm telling you that I was very sure that there's not going to be any war between China. I'm talking about back in 2017. I was quite confident that it's not going to turn out into, it will not lead to a war. It is going to be just a small, discussion and small looking in each other's eye, and that's it. And then they are going to, because talks, right? Talks are most important thing. Negotiations are the most important. That's what we did. So this worked in 2017 as well, this Doklam issue, this tri-junction thing. And I'm sure you'd be aware about this thing, but let me throw some more light here. So this portion here is called chicken snack. And if China creates military setup over here, then it can directly attack this portion. If in future, God forbid, if there is any sort of war between India and China, then China can directly attack this portion, this chicken snack. And once this chicken neck is broken, then this whole northeastern, particularly Seven Sister states, will go out of our hand, and it can be easily taken over by China. So protecting Bhutan is, of course, important for India in terms of our friendship and our engagement and relationship with Bhutan, but at the same time it is important for a strategic point of view. In 2017, Indian troops crossed over into Bhutan to stop Chinese road construction on territory India sees as Bhutanese, but China claims. And this standoff took place, and finally discussions were conducted, and India decided that we will withdraw first. And as soon as we started withdrawing, China stopped construction, and things were made normal. So this time as well we can do the same thing. There are a few things that government should do, like government should engage with opposition parties. Government needs to proactively engage with media as well, so we can spread the right information. At present what's going on is that because government is not giving that much information, people are making assumptions, and some of them are very negative, and this is triggering some sort of negative reaction as well. So it is important that government proactively engages with India. And India's security is the most important thing, right? And this everything that we should do should be around this main core thing, that India's security interest should be protected. Moving on to next one, back from the brink. The 5 spots, including patrolling points 14, 15, 17, and Chushul, and the north bank of Pangong Lake. These are some of the hot points at present. A broad plan has been agreed to hold a series of talks at lower ranks of Colonel, Brigadier, and Major General at 4 of these points in the coming week to take forward the disengagement. There, however, appear to be serious differences on Pangong Lake, and this is a matter of concern. These other points, they are going to be a bit easy, but Pangong Lake, because Chinese troops, they have created tents and other things over there, and it is said that they have arrived in big numbers in this Pangong Lake area. So this is going to take a little bit more time, I believe. But again, as I told you, right, quiet diplomacy will help us. India has clearly stated that we will accept nothing less than restoring the status quo ante. And India has also said that China should remove artillery, bombers, rocket forces, air defense radars, jammers, etc. that you have deployed here. One thing that I want you guys to keep this thing in mind, right? There are a few points that I want you guys to keep in mind, that there are multiple reasons that I see why China is behaving a bit aggressively with India. The first thing is India's infrastructure. India is creating infrastructure around LAC and border area. So this is about our defense preparedness, and it also boosts our security ecosystem. So China has already created its infrastructure around LAC. So now India is doing it and China is not feeling that much secure. So this could be one reason. The second thing is China-Pakistan economic corridor. Third thing is Pakistan and China's friendship. So together, both of them are, from one side Pakistan, from the other side China. They are trying to create problems for us. Fourth thing could be USA and India's relationship. Fifth thing is COVID-19 to distract you, right? It is playing this card. So there is not just one reason, right? There are multiple reasons for this. There could be, I cannot say there are, but there could be reasons based on which China is behaving, or the way it is behaving. This could be triggered by these multiple reasons. Anyway, so that's basically everything about it. What we need to do is we need to increase our communication with China, and we should refrain from any sort of posturing. This Aksai Chin, we are going to reclaim Aksai Chin, means if we want to reclaim it, then we should design a proper strategy rather than words. Words will create troubles, right? Proper strategy, its implementation can deliver some results, some rock solid results. So we need to work on this results, and these are the things that we can learn from China. China will keep its head, a bit low, and China will not engage. For a very long period of time, China has followed this thing. So we need to do the same thing. We can learn so many things from China when it comes to acting rather than speaking. Moving on to next one. This one is about coronavirus, right? Okay. A better rate. Good news. We have achieved a solid milestone. For the first time, we have seen that the discharged people with COVID-19, their total number has exceeded the number of active cases. So this is a big achievement. On Thursday, A total of 1,46,716 people have been recovered from COVID-19, while the number of active cases was 1,42,697. Fatality rate is just about 2.8%, which is not bad at all. The only sad thing that I find, or it can create a bit problem, is the government has revised its discharge policy. It has made it a bit more lenient. Like, no longer does a patient have to test negative twice over an interval of 24 hours. Any patient who does not show any symptom over the 3 days is allowed to go home now. Patients who were on critical care require only one negative test to be discharged. And the fourth one is, discharge is likely to be followed up with home isolation for a period of 7 days or 2 weeks, with restrictions on movement outside home. So this one is okay. This one is fine. Good one. But here, these 3 points, I find that this revision of discharge policy is made a bit more lenient, and we should be very careful here, right? I have few news items, a few important points that I would like to share with you guys. Of course, a few basic things that we need to improve: our medical facility, COVID care centers, COVID health centers. We need to boost up their capacity. This is very logical thing. And the thing that we need to keep in mind is that the lockdown is over, coronavirus is still with us, right? The numbers are going up, the curve is still going upwards. So it's not going down. So we cannot relax. We cannot lower our guards. The threat of this epidemic reaching a peak and overwhelming stretch to healthcare resources and facilities is clear and present. There are experts who are saying that we will hit our peak in the month of July 2020, right? So after that, there will be a drop, but still India has not reached its peak. So this statement worries us all, isn't it? Now, this is news item on your screen. This over here, the editorial ends over here. Now we are into this news item. I have added one news item with this editorial analysis. This will add more value to it. So, Indian Council of Medical Research has asserted that India is not in community transmission, right? Even today, community transmission is not on in our country. Director General of ICMR, Dr. Balram Bhargava, he has said this statement, and he said that the country has to continue with effective surveillance and containment strategies. The numbers are going up. Dr. Bhargava also said that COVID-19 cases per lakh population is the lowest in the world in our country, and number of deaths per lakh population is also among the lowest in the world. The recovery rate of COVID-19 patients has improved to 49.21%, which is not bad at all. And ICMR's population-based Sero survey was released, which says that 0.73% of population in 83 districts where it was conducted had evidence of past exposure to coronavirus infection. It said the lockdown and containment have been successful in keeping it low and preventing rapid spread. As per the survey, however, a large proportion of population is still susceptible. The survey was conducted to COVID-19 in May this year, and part 1 is over, part 2 is going on. Dr. V.K. Paul has said that numbers are quite high in urban slums, of course, and then we have one more article from editorial from Times of India that I would like to add here. So, a very interesting finding by University of Cambridge. Cambridge University's study has said that the most promising scientific thing that we can use is a mask. And I would like to take it a bit further, that just using mask is not going to be enough. Mask etiquette will play a very important role. I find people wearing masks, right? But the problem is, many of them, they are just covering their lips rather than their complete nose and, respiratory system. When I say respiratory, I'm talking about nose and mouth. Then there are people, they are wearing a mask, but their mask is somewhere hanging around their throat rather than wearing it properly. So this is lack of understanding or lack of mask etiquette. Then you might have observed this thing that many people, right, when they remove or when they put on their mask, they will touch this middle portion rather than creating a habit where we touch just the string rather than the middle portion of mask. So we need to create awareness about proper mask usage as well as mask etiquette. And as per this study of University of Cambridge, if the study suggests an entire population wearing masks of just a 75% effectiveness can bring a very high RO of 4 to less than 1, that too without a lockdown. Without lockdown, we can achieve this below 1 RO, which means that the pandemic is in slowing phase, or it is the numbers will drop. The containment, or this not containment, but contagious effect will go or is going down when the number is below 1 RO. So the main message here is that more campaign, right? Universal adoption of face masks and washing hands and other physical distancing. These are the things that we need to follow. We can learn something from Hong Kong. Hong Kong, at present, they have close to 99% of residents. They have been reported to wearing masks since early February. So mask is a thing that without lockdown, if we properly use masks, then there will not be any second wave, and it will protect us as well. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the country has moved from, we are now in news items, of course. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the country has now moved from the policy of command and control. This lockdown is over. Now plug and play is on. That means you can start your business, you can invest here and things. He was addressing people on this 95th annual plenary session of Indian Chamber of Commerce. And the Prime Minister highlighted that government's policies are people-centric, people-driven and planet-friendly. On Atmanirbhar Bharat, he said that he talked about Swami Vivekanand. He said that the mantra was given by Swami Vivekanand that Indians should use our own products, and we need to find markets in other countries. Here he said that we need to think about all those things that we have been importing so far. We need to make sure that we produce these items here, and if possible we should try to export these items to other nations. He talked about changing definition of MSME, and I have this question for you guys. Can you tell me what is the new definition of MSME? So what I want you guys to do is, and pay attention here, this is very important. I want you guys to tell me the investment limit of micro enterprise and turnover limit. New one of micro enterprise, then medium, same thing. Of course, small one first. So micro, then small and medium. I want you guys to clearly point out the investment limit of micro enterprise and turnover limit of micro enterprise. Same thing with small and then medium enterprise. I'm expecting answer from each one of you. This is one of the most important change in definition, and I think quite positive that you will find one question on this definition. So it should be, on your fingertip. So you should be very clear about it rather than having any sort of doubt. This is very easy, 2 marks, 2.5 marks to fetch. Citing the amendments in APMC and Essential Commodity Act, it was very difficult for the government to talk about this reforms in APMC because of the local politics. But this coronavirus crisis was used as an opportunity by the government. Then we have next item, news item. It's about LSC again. So not going into too much detail. The only thing is that military as well as diplomatic engagement is on, has been said by External Affairs Ministry spokesman Anurag Srivastava. Anurag Srivastava also said that India deeply values its cultural and friendly relations with Nepal. The multifaceted bilateral partnership has expanded and diversified humanitarian development, connectivity projects, etc. We are with Nepal. On this report on international religious freedom for 2019, said that this is an internal document of US government. So that document can have its own view, but it's not necessary that India agrees with that document. Phase 3 of Vande Bharat mission is on. Vande Bharat mission is one of the largest evacuation drive in the world. 170,000 citizens have returned to our country, and phase 3 will have 432 international flights from 43 countries reaching 17 states and union territories. Moving on to last item of the day. This one is about Human Resource Development Ministry. Human or HRD Minister, Union HRD Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank today virtually released India Rankings 2020 for higher educational institutions. A very important one, right? GK information, you can find a question on this thing as well. So overall ranking number 1 in our country goes to IIT Madras, right? It retains first position in overall ranking as well as in engineering. When it comes to top university list, the number 1 is Indian Institute of Science, that is in Bengaluru. IIM Ahmedabad tops in management category. AIMS occupies the top slot in medical category. And Miranda College retains first position among colleges. For the first time, dental institutions are included in India Ranking 2020. So you can find a question like this as well, like which institution were included for the first time in this latest India Rankings 2020. So it is dental institutions. And in dental institution category, Maulana Azad Institute of Dental Sciences has secured the first position. And that's basically everything in today's discussion, dear friends. Thank you very much for watching this video. And please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. If you learned something from today's discussion, then do hit the like button. And the question that I've asked you is very important. Please make sure that you stick your answer in the comment section. Do not copy paste your answer, right? It is very important that you type. The reason why I'm saying this thing, that when you will type the answer, the chances are you will look at the data, right? You will look and then you will type and then you will see your screen. So this whole exercise of typing that a few lines will help you retain that information for a long period of time. Copy paste, it's very automatic. Typing is more mechanical, more consciousness is required. So I want you guys to type it. It's a small tip, yet very effective tip. And that's everything. I'll see you with daily financial news analysis. Till then, enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.